Kinda simple, kinda wishful about things. And you're kinda simple, but like a pistol, you fire. Sometimes you get under my skin like a lover, and sometimes you don't wanna come back 'cause you'd rather stay out with another, talking to strangers and make out spontaneously. Now I'm so tired of hearing all your stories about the drunk nights, bragging in the glory. You're such a nice guy when you're not just talking about yourself and the way of how you dwell. I get it. Oh, I'm so tired of hearing all your stories about your rich friends traveling Mercedes. You're such a nice guy when you're not just talking about yourself and the way of how you dwell. Don't you get it? You do it right. Hold me tight when I need it. And you always like what I like we know each other. But sometimes you get under my skin like a lover, and sometimes you don't wanna come back 'cause you'd rather stay out with another, talking to strangers and make out spontaneously. Oh, I'm so tired of hearing all your stories about your rich friends traveling Mercedes. You're such a nice guy when you're not just talking about yourself and the way of how you dwell. Don't you get it? You're such a nice guy when you're not just talking about yourself and the way of how you dwell. I get it. Now I'm so tired of hearing all your stories about your rich friends traveling Mercedes. You're such a nice guy when you're not just talking about yourself and the way of how you dwell. I get it. Don't you get it? Now I'm so tired of hearing all your stories about your rich friends traveling Mercedes. You're such a nice guy when you're not just talking about yourself and the way of how you dwell. I get it. Don't you get it? No. I'm kinda simple, kinda wishful about things. And you're kinda simple, but like a pistol, you fire. Sometimes you get under my skin like a lover, and sometimes you don't wanna come back 'cause you'd rather stay out with another, talking to strangers and make out spontaneously. Now I'm so tired of hearing all your stories about the drunk nights, bragging in the glory. You're such a nice guy when you're not just talking about yourself and the way of how you dwell. I get it. Oh, I'm so tired of hearing all your stories about your rich friends traveling Mercedes. You're such a nice guy when you're not just talking about yourself and the way of how you dwell. Don't you get it? You're such a nice guy when you're not just talking about yourself.
Hello, everybody. Good to see everybody here. Welcome to the show. If you are here live, would love to say hello to you in the chat. So go ahead and say hello in the chat if it's on the right-hand side. But if you're watching this and there is no chat, then you're watching the replay, and I'd love you to comment below, which would be awesome. So here I am. I'm in Bangkok, Thailand. I've made it for those that followed my journey. I left Malaysia 3 weeks ago. I did 2 weeks quarantine, which was not something I'd ever want to repeat. And then I had about 4 days of apartment hunting and found this one. Had to go pick up my cat. She had been in, not quarantine, but she had been in her cat. They called it a cat dominium for about almost 3 weeks. So that was an experience. It was an experience bringing a cat during a pandemic between countries. I don't recommend it, but it was worth it, and we're both here and happy. So please say hello in the chat if you are here. We're going to be talking about online teaching. I have a great guest, Rachel Baker, who is going to be giving lots of value around the idea of coming up with a topic to teach. If you're wanting to teach online or out on your own or on a marketplace platform like Outschool, and there are several others, then you might be wondering, what am I going to teach? Some of these platforms offer a really great opportunity to charge your own rates, to market yourself, and to teach classes that you're passionate about. Sometimes that can be a hurdling block in terms of, knowing what is going to be marketable, knowing what is going to be a good class that students are going to want to take. And so I'm really excited to have Rachel on the show to share some golden nuggets around that topic. But let's just say hello real briefly to folks that are joining. I see my friend and colleague Maria is here calling me Mr. G. So quick little story. Mr. G is what my students used to call me when I was teaching in brick and mortar classes, when I was a kindergarten teacher, and I taught first grade and I taught third grade. And I was a tech integration specialist for the last 2 years of working in a school. And that comment comes from a time that I went into her classroom, and I was there to talk to her, but all of her students pulled up their chair and assumed that I was there to read a story. So it's kind of a running joke now I walked into her classroom and all the students brought up the chair and thought it was story time. Kind of funny in the moment. So anyway, good to have you, Maria. And Les Ryan, thank you. Yes, we are all settled. Disney addict in France. Yes, signed up for Rachel's MasterClass tomorrow. That's awesome. What is your name? That's a pretty cool YouTube name if you have a channel. I'm assuming it's all about Disney. Daniel, sorry that you are just about to hit the hay. What time is it in Taipei right now? I think it would be about 11 o'clock, right? Maybe two hours ahead of me. Daniel says, Americans think that Thailand and Taiwan are the same place. Yes, they often get mixed up. Actually, there was a recent news article that said something about Taiwan blacklisting certain countries. And I can't remember what the actual topic was, but what they actually meant was, they said Thailand, but what they actually meant was Taiwan. And it was an official news source as well. I wish I could remember the topic of that. Hey, Andrea, good to have you. Who else is here? Sorry, the lights just caught me in the eye and I couldn't see the chat. Hey, Kia, teaching with Kia. Good to have you here. Alice in Wonderland. These are great names. 10 p.m. in Taipei. Okay, awesome. Hey, Gwen. Good to have you. Way to go. Feel free to message if you have any questions. You must have been talking about, Protostar. Great. Yeah. Let us know how that goes. I've heard really good things about working with Protostar, and they can be a little picky about who they hire. They're a very small company, but wish you the best in the hiring process for sure. The Ethnic Traveler. Hey, watching from Florida. Just finished teaching. Awesome. Where do you teach? So feel free to keep chatting in the chat box. We will answer your questions if something comes up, but I am going to bring up Rachel now so that we can start chatting. Rachel, are you ready? Yes. All right. There you are. Hey, Rachel.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. It's a party in here, man. This is awesome.
Yes, it is a party. I'm trying to play around with my camera a little bit. Let's see. I look like, I said to Rachel just before the show, I look like I got sunburned, but that's because I was tweaking too many. Maybe it's saturation. I don't know what it is, but I don't have a
I have
sunburn.
this constant like blue effect on my skin because of the way my camera is set up right now. So you know,
Yeah.
it's Memorial Day here. We've got the red, the blue. We'll just be
There you go.
patriotic for America.
I wonder what's going on. I think it must be saturation. Let me just play with it a little bit there. Anyway, won't worry too much. There's so many settings on the camera. And once you start tweaking them, you can really mess yourself up. But anyway, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming. I know you're a busy girl, and I'm really excited to talk to you about what do you teach online. So before we jump into that, tell the folks who you are, what you do, and we'll take it from there.
You don't like my whole life story right now? Is that what we're no? Okay.
Let's give it a 60-second life story, but as much as you want to share.
Okay, so I'm Rachel
That's a
Baker.
challenge, isn't it?
That is. Okay, I run Merciful Mornings. Every handle everywhere is under Merciful Mornings. My YouTube channel, my website is mercifulmornings.com. And basically, overall, I just work really hard to help people identify their God-given strengths and skills and talents and figure out how to move forward confidently in that. So as a teacher, right now, one of my big focuses has been helping teachers get confident with teaching what they love online. So not just, part of it is feeling better about being a teacher, right? Getting past the overworked, underpaid stuff. It's been a rough year and a half now. So I've been working with a lot of teachers on that. And then part of that is realizing you can teach online. It doesn't have to be a full-time gig, or it can be a full-time gig. So figuring out what works for them and how they want to move forward. And teaching the what do you teach is a huge piece of that, because it can be kind of overwhelming sometimes, trying to narrow that in.
Yep. Cool. So as so many teachers, especially brick and mortar teachers this past year, have spent the year teaching virtually. I know my colleagues from schools, especially in Southeast Asia, are still in that flip-flop of teaching virtually back into classes. I think now Malaysia's in like the strictest lockdown they've ever been in. Meanwhile, USA is like back to normal, I see. Which is awesome.
Free over here.
Yeah. No masks?
They are suggested some places, but it's not, at least in my state, I'm in Arkansas, it's not mandatory to wear masks anymore. The kids, the last like week or two of school, the schools were like, forget about it. We don't need masks anymore. So that you want to talk about a weird transition. The teachers that have been in person with these kids with masks all year, they don't know what each other looks like.
Right.
Your teachers be like, I was like, that's not what I thought you looked like under there. So weird.
I've gotten really good at smiling with my eyes, because I think, if you can't see facial expressions. And so I always do this if I'm smiling, because it tells the person that I'm not just like staring them down with a blank look on my face. Right.
Right. It's awkward. Yeah.
Squirrel. So let's jump back into that idea that teachers, they've been teaching virtually, flip-flopping back and forth, and the thought of teaching online for some may not be something that they really are excited about, because it hasn't been the most enjoyable experience during the pandemic. For some, I'm sure, have discovered that, hey, this is actually pretty awesome, but it's definitely a challenge, and has been a challenge. What do you think are the biggest differences between that type of teaching and the type of teaching that we're able to do online? And, speaking to someone that sort of might be thinking about that, especially on a platform like Outschool.
Yes, that is one of the biggest conversations I've been having lately with the brick and mortar teachers, is because they hear what I do, what I help with, and they go, oh, who would want to do that? I've been doing this all year. And we talk about how that remote teaching, where this is your curriculum and you have to do it, and maybe you're doing both virtual and in person, like my kids teach, like it's overwhelming. Whereas what I'm teaching and doing and talking about is teaching your own courses, things that you love and are excited about, getting paid prices that you get to set, on your own schedule, it's so much easier, more beneficial. It lights you up. It's not a yucky drowning feeling.
Right.
So that they go, oh, like oh, that does sound better. Sounds
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah, it does. It's awesome. And as I said before, I wish I could do that at the moment with some of these platforms like Outschool. But being someone that's overseas, it's a little bit more difficult with some of their hiring requirements. But if you are able to, get onto a platform like Outschool, or even if teaching under your own name and starting to build that as a business is something that you're interested in, I know you have worked with a lot of teachers and do work with teachers, both as a coach and then also in your digital course. How does someone arrive, I guess, at knowing what they want to teach, where it's aligned with, their passions, and also with classes that are marketable? So,
Right.
I might want to teach, I don't know, a wild example. I might want to teach, I don't know,
I've
paint
had
by
some
numbers.
wild examples. Yeah, I've had some crazy classes that we've created with different
Yeah.
teachers, and that's the fun part for me. My favorite part of doing coaching sessions, right, with teachers. Like, we get together and we're talking, and I'm like, what is it that you love about teaching? First of all, what part of that do you love? And what is it in life that you love? What makes you excited? You wish you could do this every day, and then
Yeah.
be able to teach it to others. That's kind of where you
I wish I could just
start.
pet my cat all day. Can we do something with
Listen,
that?
yes, there are actually classes offered for children on how to care for a cat,
Yeah,
toys
that's
they
awesome.
enjoy, how to feed your cat, proper ways to
Mhm.
pet your cat, different cat facts that you might like to know. You could
Mm.
legitimately make courses on that.
Bring your cat to class, show and tell.
Yes.
I think that when I've talked to teachers who are interested in Outschool, and I say, you know what, don't stress so much about the lesson planning and the creation of the course. That will fall into place when you are teaching something that is aligned with what you're passionate about. And so, I think the stress of, oh my gosh, I'm not doing that. I've got to create lessons, create courses. I could never create a curriculum like VIP Kid. Well, no, you're not supposed to. A lot of these classes, you can teach over and over again. I think they call them flex classes.
There's flex classes, there's one-time classes. Like, you can make just
One-time
a
classes.
one-time 30-minute class and teach
Yeah.
it to this group of kids and teach it to that group of kids. You just offer it different times and days to
Yeah.
different students. It's awesome.
And it's not so much that you're creating lessons with a strict, PowerPoint and all these kinds of things. Sometimes teachers are just cooking, and they have a kind of framework that they're working off of, expecting the kids to bring certain ingredients to the lesson, and then it's a very hands-on type of class. But
Yes,
how do you?
I always tell teachers, though, you don't have to. It's great in that you don't have like specific standards that you have to meet, like you do for, Common Core curriculum or whatever it is you're teaching.
Yeah.
Always have in mind, like, by the end of this class, students will be able to, like, what is your goal for them? You want them to learn how to make chocolate chip cookies. You want them to learn how to take care of their cat. You want them, and academic is great. That's needed too, but you're not stuck there. So as
Yeah.
long as you have in mind, this is where we're headed, this is the outcome, it kind of flows from there.
Yep. Now, I wanted to ask you how, or what would you recommend, a teacher sort of start with if they're starting to think about creating lessons on their own? Give us a few little nuggets of gold there in terms of arriving at that place. And I'm going to plug in my computer before it dies.
Please do. Yes. So some of the top things that I go through with people, and I've got like a whole email series of like training videos on these that's free,
Yes.
which has been so helpful, I think, instead of me repeating myself. But I often tell people, what are your top strengths and skills and talents? What are you really good at? What do you enjoy? What are your passions, your hobbies? Those categories can really get your brain going. Because if someone were to say to me, hey, I would really like for my kid to take a class from you on interior design,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be like, not your girl. I'm not your girl for that, because that's not my area of expertise. Now, if you want to talk about getting organized and being productive, or, there are a slew of other things I can help you with. That's not one of them. So you don't want to pick something where you're like, that's not really my thing, because you're not going to be excited about it. And so the kids aren't going to benefit as much from that. So you
exactly
stay in your lane for sure.
Yep. So do you, okay, so thinking about things that you're passionate about, and then what tips do you have for knowing if that's a class that's marketable, that, kids are going to want to take? I mean, the spectrum is so varied in what is out there, and what, especially on a platform like Outschool, you can do some research right into that to determine that. So
right. And what's great about Outschool is they do provide that immediate connection with parents. They market for you. Outschool is a great starting place. I just always like to tell teachers it's not the only starting place, and it's not the only option. There are so many online teaching platforms now, and we cover all of that in my course. I want to make sure people know, like, that is a good place to start if that's what you're looking for, but there are so many other options as well. So, but all that to say, one of the biggest things is just to feel confident in what you've chosen, because if you have a passion about something, the odds are there are other people out there in the world who are excited about it too, or wanting to learn about it. So putting it out there, but also keep in mind with the marketing of it, are you solving a problem for someone? How are you helping somebody? One of the biggest comments I got from my students in the first round of my course was, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to try to sell my stuff. And I just always try to remind people, you're not trying to sell things to make money. You are trying to serve people. I have this thing, and I want to offer it to you and share it with you and benefit your life with it. And if that's what you need, I've got it here for you. If it's not what you need, that's okay. Go find what it is that you need, but I've got this here for you. So if you come from a place of service, it's not salesy, you're helping. Which is our goal.
I love it. Awesome. There were a couple of questions here. I can answer that one about me. No, as a Canadian abroad, I cannot. You have to live. So for anyone that's interested that lives overseas, you do have to live in one of their countries. And I believe it's US, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Ireland.
I think that goes under UK. I think that falls under the UK, but it's because you have to have a physical address where you live to apply with, because those are the countries currently that they have arrangements to do background checks. Because, teachers, we've always got to do background checks. And so those are the countries they have arrangements with to do that. So you have to have a physical address living in that place. And they're looking to branch out, but that's where we're at right now.
Yes, I know there's with the background check, that's one of the things. It does sort of seem weird to me, because you are able to do background checks on people overseas. I think it just has to do with the company that they're using. Perhaps. Daniel was asking about alternatives. Do you know of, I know KidPass is another alternative. Do you know of other alternatives to Outschool that are doing similar things? I think the ones that are out there, from what I've seen, are still very small. There's definitely a lot of people trying to kind of recreate that model.
I've seen, KidPass was one. I think another one, My Cool Class, I think is one that I've seen.
My Cool Class,
So there are a few others popping up, and I am learning more about them. But those are, and I don't know as much about those other two, but those are more if you want to be paying a percentage out to someone else to provide your platform, your marketing, your parent communication, all of that. There are so many other platforms where if you are willing to go full independent as an online teacher and, find your parents' email, however you want to do it. And we go into all that in my course, but there are so many ways to get your courses out there to people.
Absolutely. You don't have to work for a company. You don't have to work on the marketplace. Yes, there are parts of it that make life a little bit easier. But, once you start to figure out who you're serving, and if you've got a great idea, the world is waiting for it, and you don't have to use those platforms. You can learn.
There are, marketing. I know, off the top of my head, I tell people there are 3 main tools that I recommend that are quick, easy, free. and you can get started teaching online. If you can get Zoom, you can use PayPal, or pick a different payment method if you want. And
Yep.
Calendly is a good one for scheduling. So
Exactly. Yep.
easy.
And then MailChimp to grow your email list and grow your potential customers, and then of course you can go further and build a website or build sales pages and things like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Question from the ethnic traveler. Would you say it's a bad idea to combine passion with hobby to create a business? I'm at a crossroads of choosing something that I'm good at and enjoy versus something that I'm passionate about.
Ooh.
Combining something that you're good at and enjoy versus something that you're passionate about. Is it a bad idea to combine passion with a hobby to create a business? No. I mean, I think that, if you can align all of those, that's perfect. But, sometimes, you need to be good at it. You need to be passionate about it, or enjoy doing it. And I think that there is a cross section of all of that. I think you're saying that you've got an idea that you're good at and that you enjoy, but you're not passionate about it. When you say you enjoy it, does that not mean that you have some kind of passion there already, perhaps?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you know Marie Kondo. She talks about like getting rid of things in your home. Like if you hold it, does it spark joy? That's like her thing. Does it spark
Her
joy?
name is Marie Kondo, like
Yes.
condominium?
Yes, but it's with a K. She is
Okay.
Japanese, I believe. Anyway, she's all about minimalist life and getting rid of things that don't spark joy. I've got my kids like going through their bedrooms this week, and I'm like, if it doesn't spark joy, it's gone, But that's one of those
Mom,
things.
it does spark joy.
It made me happy once. But with like when you talk about having passion about something, if you're really good at something, there is a bit of joy in that because it builds your confidence, right? You're good at it. I'm good at this thing, and so I enjoy doing it. It may not be like what you want to be doing 24/7, but you can teach more than one thing as well. I do some pre-K classes, and I also do some elementary creative writing classes. You can offer multiple subjects.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's fine.
Maybe let us know, Ethnic Travel, what you're thinking of. Another question from C. Kin. What about copyright concerns when using existing supporting materials? Yeah, always an issue. How can you check this to make sure it's okay? Well, you can always check with, if you're using someone's resource, you can check with them to make sure that
if
they're
in doubt,
allowing it.
Always ask permission before you just start using something. I love to tell my students, if there's something that you have and you love and it's a copyright thing and you can't use their stuff, get inspired from that. And if you can make your own resources don't copy it. Don't copy what it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you can create your own resources based on that, or if that's not your thing, find somebody who will help you create the resources for that so that you have kind of what you're wanting, but in your own format. Then you've got your own resources that maybe you could sell to other people too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Another method to keep it going. But definitely, I always say, I'm not a legal expert. I'm not giving copyright advice, but always ask permission and create your own stuff when you can, for sure.
Yep. And if you're talking about specific, using specific images or audio, for example, the song that I had before this is copyright free in Canva. So you can use, places like Canva, or someone here's Allison's recommending Pixabay, for images, Creative Commons resources. There's a lot of free stuff out there. Of course, sometimes the stuff that you pay for or, is sometimes higher quality. And so just reach out to those people and ask if you can use their stuff.
Yes. Oh, I love Allison in Wonderland mentioned Marie Kondo has a good show on Netflix.
Yes. Oh, does it? Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I love her. She's good.
Look her up. Very cool. So, Rachel, where can folks find more out about you? I also wanted to let everyone know that you do have a masterclass coming up. mercifulmornings.com/masterclass tomorrow. Please tell us all about it.
Oh, I'm so excited. So this is something I've been working on for a lot of it for brick and mortar teachers who have been drowning. And it legit is called Overworked, Underpaid, and Stuck. I want us to get past the concept that that's just what it means to be a teacher. Those are lies teachers have accepted about this is just what this job is. This is how it is. It doesn't have to be that way. And so that's a big part of what this masterclass is. I've got 2 tomorrow, June 1st, and there's another one on the 5th. And I'm probably going to offer a 4th one the next week. I want to make sure everybody has a chance to attend. But so there's going to be a lot of value just in the class itself. I want to give actionable steps that people can take to get past those feelings as teachers. So that's a big
Rachel
part
is someone that is really focused on serving and helping teachers. So if you're a teacher out there and you're resonating with anything that we're talking about, or just wanting to learn more, get better at your craft, go to the masterclass. It's free, and she's going to help you out. So I would highly recommend it. So yeah, mercifulmornings.com/masterclass. And you've got 1 session tomorrow, do you? For those that are live or watching this in the next 24 hours.
Tomorrow. Yeah, I'm
2
doing
tomorrow.
I'm in Central Time in America, and so I'm doing one in the morning and one in the evening, because I know I've got people kind of all over the world that are, I mean, you and I, when we connect, we got to work out the time difference. So I want it to be available for whoever, because this is a global thing, right? I love that when I teach, I may have a class and I've got a kid from Ireland, I've got a kid from Australia, I've got a kid
so awesome.
Hong Kong. It's fun.
Yeah, so great. Thank you so much for coming on the live, Rachel. Great to have you. Great to see you as always. And good luck in your masterclass. And I hope the spots fill. And those that are watching, go check it out for sure. You won't be disappointed. Thanks a lot, Rachel. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
See ya. Awesome. So thank you so much, Rachel, for coming. That was amazing. And as I said, go check out her masterclass. I will also put the link in the description of this video. It was fun hanging out with you all. And thank you to those that were engaging in the chat and saying hello. Really great to have you here. I will be back next Monday for another live on another topic, same time, same place, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday. So I will see you next time. Have a great week, everyone.